In the paper, Searching for Explanations, How the Internet Inflates Estimates of Internal Knowledge, looked at how knowledgeable people rated themselves after having answered several questions with the aid of the Internet and without the aid of the Internet. And in general, those who could use the Internet felt that they were smarter than those who could not. In Experiment 1A, 232 people from the United States, they gave two groups a series of trivia questions. Group 1 got to use the Internet to answer them, and Group 2 did not. The groups were then asked how knowledgeable they thought that they were in 6 topics: weather, science, American history, food, health treatments, and the human body. And their self-rating was on a scale of 1 to 7. And those who could use the Internet on average rated themselves 3.61. Those who could not use the Internet rated themselves at 3.07. From Experiment 1B, 152 people from the United States, was the same as Experiment 1A, but the researchers asked how knowledgeable participants rated themselves before the test as well as after. The Internet group rated themselves at 3.63 after the answering the questions, and the no Internet group answered 3.15 after having answered the questions. In Experiment 1C, took 134 people from the United States, and it was the same as the Experiment 1A, except that the Internet users were told the exact websites to go to find the answers, and the no Internet group was given a text from the websites that the Internet group was told to go to. And the Internet group scored 3.78 here, and the no Internet group scored 3.07. From Experiment 2A, 233 people from the United States. In this experiment, the people in both groups, instead of asking how knowledgeable they felt, they were given a scale of images showing brain activation, a 1 to 7 scale. They were told that higher levels of brain activation demonstrated higher quality explanations and greater accessing of stored knowledge. They were then asked what they thought their brain looked like, again having gone through this series of asking a series of questions and then asking how your brain would light up when answering questions about the 6 knowledge topics, such as American history and weather. And the Internet group scored 4.66, and the no Internet group scored 4.12. From Experiment 2B, 199 people from the United States. This experiment was identical to Experiment 1A, except that the participants were asked how well they could answer the questions without any outside help, i.e. without being able to use the Internet. And the Internet group rated themselves at 3.41, and the no Internet group rated themselves at 2.94. Now, Experiment 3. This experiment asked people, this was 302 people from the United States, and they asked people questions not about any outside topic, but questions about themselves, right? Such as, how did you choose your current career? Or why do you become annoyed by some things that don't seem to bother others? Again, one group was allowed to use the Internet to answer these questions, one group wasn't. Now in Experiment 3, they had one group that had easy self-assessment questions they called easy, and they had one group where they had quote-unquote hard self-assessment questions at the end. Now, for the easy questions, the Internet group scored 4.936, and the no Internet group scored 4.865. On the hard questions, the Internet group scored 3.423, and no Internet scored 3.288. In Experiment 4A, this had 157 people from the United States. And in this experiment, one group of people were provided a direct link to the website which answered the various trivia questions, and the other group were told to find the answer themselves using a search engine. Experiment 4B. This had 191 people from the United States, and in this experiment, one group of people were asked questions that the researchers determined could not, or at least not easily, be found by simple search engine search, and the others were asked questions that could be answered by a search engine search. And the answerable questions group, right, the group that were given questions that could easily be answered by a search engine, rated themselves at 4.00, and those given unanswerable questions rated themselves at 4.11. Now this result surprised me. I was expecting the exact opposite. My after-the-fact explanation for this result is that the individuals in the no answer group spent more time being a detective, searching answers for hard questions, and so felt smarter doing so even though they couldn't actually answer the question. Experiment 4C. Experiment 4C was stupid and not worth mentioning. And this is a great series of experiments that seems to show that people think they're smarter just because they know how to use a search engine. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to rate the video and leave a comment, as this will improve the visibility of the channel. This has been Ryan Falk of Daily Data, and I'll see you next time.